So good.
So good.
There's a band called Morbid Angel. They have been around for 100 years. These guys are one of the... a lot of your best death metal bands started in Florida. You know, when it's a cheap sun like that, sometimes you just got to have a different way of looking at things. But Morbid Angel, one of the very first, they're considered like the granddaddies of death metal. And they're on the road. I don't know if they have a new album out. They haven't done anything new in a few years. But how long do you think you could go to a show and listen to this, Mary?
Dude, not long.
Really? Really had
like,
to.
I'm already aggravated. It's
Yeah,
what,
and
30
we're only
seconds?
only a minute in. This is only like a 2.5-minute song, but
How long do death metal bands play for? Do they play for like 2-3 hours?
no, not that long. No, I mean usually like the standard death metal show, you'll have 3 bands, sometimes 4. I mean your headliner will probably do an hour 15, maybe.
Okay, so it's
Hour and a half, but it's an hour and a half of this.
so much.
So you really have to enjoy it. I mentioned Morbid Angel because they're on the road and they were doing a show in Belvedere, Illinois, which is not that far.
Freaks on the China. I never mattered before.
Who cares? Belvedere, Illinois is it's northwest of Chicago. It's not far from where my brother lives, and they had terrible, terrible storms and tornadoes over the weekend. And one of them caved in the roof of the theater where Morbid Angel was going to play, and one person died, and dozens of other people got hurt. Now, all I could think was, this was Friday night, so I'm like texting my brother. I'm like, are you guys like cool out there? Or, you know, he's like, yeah, I got really, really rough out here, but whatever. So Morbid Angel hadn't gone on yet. This is a sold-out show, so it's about 1,300 people. But it was early enough in the show where it was just the people who'd come to see the opening bands. So they came to see Skeletal Remains, another great band. And
These names they're the worst.
well, you know they're death metal bands.
I know
they're
what
not.
they are.
Yeah,
but they sound fake. They sound like the names
They
that
are
we
fake.
joke about.
Well, you know that skeletal remains are a real thing, right?
No, they are not.
When a person decomposes, Mary, what you will end up with is... Now, whether or not a morbid angel is real, well, I'll say no, because angels aren't real. Mm-hmm. Morbidity is, though, right? Morbid obesity is real. Morbidly obese angel. Morbidly obese angel might be. So anyway, they had
Morbidly obese skeleton. Now that's a band.
Yeah. I'm big boned.
For real.
For reals. Morbid Angel hadn't gone on yet, so it could have been a hell of a lot worse, really, because this was going to be a sold-out show, but it was early enough where there were only 125 people in the Apollo Theater in Belvedere, Illinois, and the tornado came through, caved the roof in, and collapsed and killed a person. Imagine that is how you died or where you died when your family members are telling the story. He was at the Morbid Angel show. And, a freak, not a freak storm. I mean, there were massive storms going through the center of the part of the Midwest and the Plains area or whatever. But anytime something like that happens, I'm always texting my family. I'm like, everybody okay? Everybody doing all right? But my brother is the one who lives closest to that area. And I said, he goes, yeah, it was pretty wild. But so Morbid Angel decided to postpone their next show, which was going to be in Joliet, Illinois, suburban Chicago. And they said that they put out a statement and, but boy, you never want to be one of those bands that gets a Wikipedia entry to that effect. Somebody came in and murdered everybody, or, obviously this was a storm. This is a tornado. Nothing you could help, but that puts you on the map. You never want to have audience member death attached to your name, I guess. I would think. You don't want that. For instance, if we did an appearance and at the end of it, they were like, Alan Cox Show ends with listener death. You go, well, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not great.
Not awesome. I mean, we had nothing to do with it. Unless, only thing I can conceive of is this person had a heart condition that put them at great risk for sensitivity to utter hilarity. That's the only thing that I would imagine
potentially
could kill someone at one of our live shows. is that their heart exploded with laughter. I mean, I think that
sounds
could
about right.
That
you
could.
know?
I'm no medical scientician, but that sounds like it could be. But anyway, they said it was absolute chaos at this show. I assume that's what they meant, unless Absolute Chaos was one of the opening bands. But I don't think that was the case. That's another great band name. That's why these kinds of stories with these kinds of bands are so hard to figure out. You're like, wait, was it Absolute Chaos, or did the singer from Absolute Chaos get hurt?
Right.
So Morbid Angel never actually went on. But that would have really been the flex, is for that to happen and you still go on. No roof, whatever, we can still plug in. We still got blast beats for you. I bet Brian likes Morbid Angel.
Probably. That
Or at
sounds
least
like,
that's up his alley. right?
Definitely. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about it. I know it hurts my ears. That's all that I know. He was cleaning the kitchen the other day, blaring some stuff that sounded like that. But he's cute. And so he's like dancing around mopping, but like, whoa, like screaming
Right,
along
it's not like
with this
usually
music.
if I'm
he
doing
sings
dishes,
along.
Well, sometimes, depending on what part of it is, I don't assume that he knows every growl, but
Yeah,
No,
I'm not into it for the lyrics. I'm into it for the music. And I don't know what they're saying. I don't care what they're saying. As long as I can air it on my Saturday Night Metal show, Bill. I'm fine. So this Saturday night.
The Metal Buddies talk time.
That's right. The Metal Buddies.
The Metal Buddies chit chat
Absolute
show.
chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Saturday night this week, we were preempted this past Saturday night, much to the consternation of people who couldn't give a fat frog's ass about baseball. But we'll be back on this Saturday night, and I'll play some Morbid Angel in tribute to the brave death metal fan who gave his life for no apparent reason.
I mean, it is
But
a pretty metal thing to do, though.
It's a metal thing to do. Wrong place, right time for a Morbid Angel show.
I have a question.
Lay it on me.
Would System of a Down be considered heavy metal, or is that just a rock band?
I think people consider them metal.
Okay.
They're kind of...
Well, then I like a heavy metal band. I like System of a Down.
You like System of a Down, okay.
La 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 la.
he nailed it, though.
Yeah, I know he did.
Uh-huh. I'll get to work on that tonight.
Anybody who does la 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 in their song,
You're a
they
fan?
won me. They won me.
Huh. I mean, they're probably not... Yeah, okay, so that's all it
They're
takes.
singing lullabies. La 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 la. They smooth it out.
How do you know? Your mom was at work. She never sang you lullabies.
Oh.
I know what a lullaby is.
Hmm.
I would say, Mom, lullaby, go to work.
Bye.
La la la.
La la la. He thinks a lullaby is just somebody going la 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 la.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, let me give you some money here. We're back on this bull shrimp. Buzzard Bookie gives you $1,000 right now. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Devotion to accuracy, by the way, when I was talking about the cell phone being invented 50 years ago. It was the Motorola guy who invented it, who developed the wireless technology. I said that the Bell Labs guy called the Motorola guy. I said, ha, ha, ha. It was the other way around. For people who were really, really, flipping out in the commercial break there. But I do like to, when somebody will text me or correct me or something, I do like to get my devotion to accuracy. So here's my question. Because, I was positive that this was an April Fool's joke. But if so, they really went to great lengths to create all kind of detail and social media accounts. The Cleveland Cleats. Is this real?
I think it's
It
real.
looked real. I saw it.
That's the best part of an April Fool's joke, is my point, is the attention to detail. I said, okay, well, this is clearly a joke because they said they're going to be playing in a brand new stadium downtown. And so I saw this on Instagram, the Cleveland Cleats Pro Sports Team. And the mayor left a comment on their website. And I go, okay, well, ha, 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 this is, April Fool's. This is all a goof. They did a whole big thing on social media. But then, like, they had a website with photos, and they had an email address, and they had all kinds of stuff. I'm like, well, nobody's going to go this deep on an April Fool's prank. But I think we had talked some time ago about Cleveland getting a pro team, but I didn't hear anything about where the hell are they going to put a new stadium? And why are they going to build a soccer stadium? I mean,
I think
for multi-purpose.
the fact that every single post was on April 1st, I think this is definitely just a.
But boy, they went in deep if it was fake.
I think they did. I think
They committed to it.
Yeah.
Because people, if it is fake, and they may have since confirmed that it was, but because there are enough people who are really into soccer, they are not going to be happy with it being fake if it is, because people were so excited and happy on social media.
I'm glad it's not real because I still.
But
want
do we
it to
know that
be-
it's not?
Well, whatever it is, I still think the name of the team should be the Kick Sockers. Or the
Yes,
Soccer kickers.
Sock kickers.
Kick Sockers, I thought it was.
Ball kickers.
It's kick
Cleveland
Sockers. I don't know.
Is the Cleveland Kick Sockers.
I mean, there's that old bar called Cleats that's down by the Steel Yard.
Yeah.
I think that's still open. So somebody tell me if it's legit, because they put out a press release and there were photos, but the one detail that I said, this is fake, is the new stadium. There's no way there's going to be a new stadium
on the water
in 2025 on the water.
Well, even when it was like
They're trying to
2025, I'm like, you can't.
They hold the city hostage
started,
every time they want money for the existing arenas around here.
Well, that and this building existed, and we were 2 years behind getting in here. So to like build a completely brand new stadium from scratch, I was like, that's never going to happen in
Just
2
a
years.
year.
You know, whatever.
Well, I don't even mean the timeline. I mean,
I was
just
looking at
them
the
build.
timeline.
Well, that too. But I mean, just let's say 2028, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just them building a new stadium in this town. So I assumed it was fake, but they really had a lot of. Usually, it's one and done if somebody's going to do an April Fool's thing. They'll post something and they go, "Hey, gotcha, fun."
I think it's fake. I'm just looking all over.
Because like even the picture of
Someone being signed to it, it looked.
like somebody's
Who's that guy?
Okay,
there's it's photoshopped on the background
and it's a terrible name. I mean, like terrible to the point of they made it purposely bad. Now, listen, there's no amazing names being given to teams in this town, but Cleats is so bad that they're like, okay, this is how people are going to know. But again, it was very vague because the teams in this town have terrible names. And so that's not really a giveaway to name them the Cleats. But they had all of their social media accounts set up, and the team was founded in 2023 as a member of the United Soccer League. I don't even know if that's a real thing. Is the United Soccer League a real thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, because the
I don't know anything
team
about soccer.
they announced the team, but it's gonna be part of the MLS, but it's like their minor league.
Right. That's what we had been talking about.
We're not going to give a stadium to a minor league.
No.
They'll play at some.
They'd make them
gym
play at like the
somewhere.
Wolstein Center.
But that's what I was saying. Even if we got a big pro team, they'd still have them play somewhere else. Not going to build them a new stadium.
I don't know. The teams in Columbus and Cincinnati do really well.
I didn't know Cincinnati had a soccer
They
team.
have
I'm so out of touch.
Cincinnati FC, and they drew more people over the weekend than the Reds did.
On my flight to Raleigh this past weekend, there was a soccer club, the Lexington Soccer Club. I Googled them. All British, all very good looking. But they were like tall. I thought soccer players were short. Most soccer players I've met were like, or at least in my high school, it was like a lot of short, thin dudes.
It was in high school.
But that's high school
know.
players. Like at a
I guess
professional
that's true.
level, they're going to be, I
were
imagine
like
most of them around
6
like
feet,
6
yeah.
feet and plus, because you have to cover a lot of ground.
I guess
you have
so,
to have a big leg to be able to, keep up with that. And then also you're playing a strategy where you're trying to do headers and stuff like that. So you want taller guys.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's some guys that are a little shorter, but I don't think it goes. I think the average height of a soccer player is around 6 foot, 6'1".
Yeah. And I don't know why I was surprised. And I know not all soccer clubs have a lot of money, but I was surprised that they were flying they were just on a commercial flight, United, like sitting in the back all 30 of them took up like the last 7 or 8 rows.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. I mean, because I know that's a lot of people to transport, but to have to check all of your gear and then transport 30 people, you would think it might be easier to do it a different way. And I don't know.
Well, there you go. Cleveland Cleats, which we assume is an April Fool's prank, but who knows?
This has been
The Alan Cox Show, pandering to soccer fans.
Now, the Dave Bautista stand-up special was very clearly an April Fool's thing. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The Netflix
Netflix
original
is giving me
comedy
$10
special.
million, so
I've never
here we
done this
go.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Bautista, as you've never seen him before.
Never done stand-up comedy before, but Netflix paid me $10 million, so... This is an impression I do. It's of my Aunt Liz. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And they cut to the audience just
5 o'clock
sitting there
somewhere.
staring at him. They're like, what is going on here?
Just got a drink of problems.
No laughs. Right. Dave Bautista, Netflix.
That's funny.
And then Usher pranked people. I didn't even know Usher was out doing dates.
He said no.
Instead of yeah.
Good one.
Uh-huh.
It's a surprise for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You guys want to know what that surprise is? Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, put your hands together for the one, the only, Beyonce.
And everybody goes bananas because they're like, oh my God, we kind of wanted to see Usher, but we would
Really
really,
wanna see
like to
Beyonce.
see Beyonce, right? And then he acts like he can't get her to come out. It's like, oh, what is you? You don't want to make that Bay Hive mad. Imagine, I guess you'd have to be at Usher's level for people to not try to like murder you on the way off stage.
Yeah, I don't know if last time I went to an Usher show, this was years ago, and it wasn't sold out. So I don't know.
This is
I
an
can only-
outdoor thing somewhere.
Yeah, I can only imagine what this show is like.
April Fools.
Yeah, he's please don't murder me for telling you that Beyonce's here. Because it looks like it's like an outdoor rib fest or something. Like Beyonce's, was she going to chop her into a rib
I
fest?
was gonna say they have a song
If
together.
they got good ribs, I'll chop her in.
I'll tell you what,
For the right ribs.
There
I bet
are-
they'd show up.
there are local rib competitions and fests. Some of them rise to the level of fests. Some of them you'll hear about Rib Fest. Some of them are just rib competitions. So if you hear about a rib comp, that's all that is. It doesn't rise to the level of a rib fest. If any of you, because we'll give away tickets for a lot of these things, but if any of the local promoters who do those kinds of things, if you have any budget whatsoever, I suggest you put that all toward choppering in Bill Squire. He will not only, he
I'll eat
won't
your
even,
ribs.
huh?
I'll eat those ribs.
Right. You chopper him in, he'll be a celebrity judge or whatever, and you won't even have to land the chopper because he'll descend on a rope ladder from the chopper. I think I could probably
Yeah, we can make that happen. Yeah.
make that happen. He'll come down on a
I'll
bright
descend on it.
yellow
I'm not going back up it.
rope ladder. No, you'll get a car to get him off the grounds,
Yeah.
but you'll chopper in. That'd be worth the price of admission.
I think.
Why are these rib
I think
fest-
I'll leave on a small mini bike. I'll leave on a mini bike. I think
Honey,
that
why are
just-
these Rib Fest tickets $125? Well, they got to cover the cost of choppering in Bill Squire.
worth it though? It's gonna make your rib fest